joint bag. Yo, man, it's cool. It's cool, man. It's cool.
Hey guys, it's Steak Sauce here from the Off the Grill podcast. Come on in. We're talking horror. Well, told you last time, it's only going to get more ridiculous from here on out. So, what am I going to do? But listen, you ever tried before, but you just can't find a clue, no matter what you do? Well, I got a movie for you. That's right. Today we're going to be talking about Friday the 13th, Part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan. So this is going to be a little bit of a departure from what maybe you guys are used to as far as how I feel about this movie, because it's certainly not as glowing and warm as pretty much everything I've done so far. Actually, literally everything I've done so far. I figured, it was a little too much positivity all right in a row. I had to break it up a little bit. I don't hate this movie by any means, but I don't love it either. Anyway, let's move along with the review. Jason Takes Manhattan hit theaters July 28th, 1989. A budget of $5 million, roughly. Some sources I've seen put it a little over, some a little under. So we'll just give it 5. Call it a day. How's that sound, guys? And it made its money back. In fact, it almost tripled its money. But it's a far cry from what the rest of these have done. I mean, this is the largest budget, almost, by at least $2 million or so, I think. This is the smallest return so far for Paramount, which I believe is a lot of the reason why past this point everything went, they had no problem selling to New Line, which I don't know, I get it, but maybe they thrown a little more into the Manhattan side of things, as we'll get into. I don't want to dig into it too much here in this little preamble or whatever the hell we're going to call it, or you want to call it. I'm not calling it anything. Had they maybe gave it a bigger budget, maybe they would have gotten greater returns. But we'll never know. So let's move on. All things considered, we'll still start with the good. So I don't totally mind the two in the beginning, the guy and the girl, little couple, whatever, on the boat, the houseboat, whatever the fuck it is. Because they do the explaining for whatever the hell happened previous 7 movies, which I think is a lot better than sitting for 9 hours saying, hey, remember all the clips from this movie that's actually better than the one you're about to watch, and then all the other ones that are also better. Having them just kind of explain it, to me, it's tighter. It's and then it's kind of like, and I feel like the clips at the beginning always kind of like they take you out of the movie before you even get into it, and then it takes you a little longer to kind of, okay, let's settle down and watch a movie. But ultimately, they had to die, as we see here. I think that lady's name is Stacy. She tries to hide on the boat instead of, trying to swim to shore, which probably wouldn't have worked out good for her either way. But hiding in a little compartment on the deck of the ship is, not recommended, as you see here. Ha ha! Wasn't that funny? Anyway, so that kind of takes us to the next day. The graduating class for Crystal Lake High, or whatever the hell they call it. I wasn't paying that close of attention. I've seen this movie a million times. I don't remember. You don't come for me for a blow by blow. You don't come to me. You don't come for me at all. I hope. That's a discussion I think we'll have to have another day, though. So we see the heroine of the movie. Oh, that's interesting. That might come into play a little later in the movie. The heroine of the movie, however, Rennie and Miss Van Dusen. She gives her some kind of bullshit pen that Stephen King used, supposedly. She's nice and sharp, which is good. The first time I saw this, like, ooh, that's getting used somewhere. I ended up kind of being underwhelmed by that. I believe she just sticks it in Jason's eye once they're on the cruise ship. Because, by the way, they're going from Crystal Lake, New Jersey, wherever the fuck that's supposed to be. And they're taking a cruise ship to Manhattan via a lake. Anyway, stay positive. We're still in the good here. Let's try to sell this movie as best we can. Then we kind of move over. Rennie's love interest, Sean, is kind of lame. As lame as he is, apparently the guy they originally cast was lamer. So try to imagine that. It seems impossible to me, but hey, wouldn't be the first time a production crew got shit fucked up. Am I right, folks? So then we get, one of the first really good characters in the movie, in my opinion, Charles McCullough, the biology teacher and Rennie's uncle. He's a cranky old man, but I find him just endlessly fascinating and entertaining. It's almost like I have a type, man. That's a common theme, I think, so far. You can kind of track, which kind of makes me think some things. But he's kind of mean, and he's very overprotective. Very overprotective? Is that a thing? Whatever. Overprotective, very overprotective, super overprotective. I don't give a shit. Of Rennie. And it kind of goes into it later in the movie that, he pushed Rennie in the lake to try to get her to learn how to swim. And it just kind of shows up in the movie, I think, a little too late, which, again, we're trying to stay positive here, but it's tough. It's hard to kind of talk about some of this shit when it's like there's half measures of things I like, and the other half of the measure is just like stupid shit that doesn't make any sense. I think it would have been a lot cooler if they started exploring that kind of dichotomy between those two, Rennie and Charles, much earlier in the movie instead of just kind of springing it on you at the end of the, or at the beginning of the third act, whatever the hell, But I think he's a very interesting character. Peter Mark Richmond did a pretty fantastic job, I think. One of the better performances of the later movies, I'd say. From maybe 7 on for sure. We'll talk about him more later, I'm sure. Another character, Julius, I liked a lot. The boxer. I didn't really understand totally. I didn't know high schools had boxing teams or whatever. At least I don't know. They didn't when I was growing up, but I grew up in the middle of nowhere, so who knows? But Crystal Lake never seemed like a big town either. Can't really explain that, but either way, I think he's kind of a cool badass. Kind of a cocky, mouthy character. he's the first one to grab a gun when shit starts going down on the boat with Jason. He kind of tells McCullough to go shove it up his ass. We're in charge now. You had your shot, Hope man. It's over. But it's starting to feel like maybe I have two types, and it's really making me reevaluate some things. Oh boy. Yeah, I think he's probably one of the more level-headed. Like, dude, this guy's like a psycho killer. We need to just blow him away. Let's not try to run. I don't know. But again, I think we'll probably be talking about him a little more later. So the next good thing about this movie, I think, is the character Tamara. She kind of plays the evil bitch of this film. She does it well. I don't remember the actress's name, which is great. Doing this whole fucking. Just don't bring it up. Don't bring it up. It's not important. You don't need it. These are no-name fucking actors. Okay, don't bring it up. Just fucking talk about the characters. Shut the fuck up. Another good thing about this movie, I think, is the character Tamara. She kind of plays the evil bitch of the movie. Does it very well, in my opinion. I mean, she throws the fucking, the heroin over the side of the boat. The one who can't swim. Oops. Which, another thing, perhaps another reason I like her. I don't know. We won't get, we do have to get into that. Because she throws Rennie over the side of the boat, because Rennie catches her and Ava Watanabe, played by the lovely Kelly Hu. She catches him doing a little cocaine, and they assume that Rennie's going to rat them out. So, oops, over the side. It's an accident. But she gets hers, and pretty solid death in my estimation. Jason kind of goes after her, smashes the fucking mirror. Takes a nice sharp piece of that, and just right into her. Which is kind of funny because, she's doing coke off of the glass earlier, off of a mirror. And then she's, ultimately she meets her demise via a mirror shard. As is likely to happen when you're on a cruise ship on Crystal Lake. Speaking of Ava Watanabe, played by Kelly Hu, as I said, her death's pretty fucking solid too. I would say. It's kind of straightforward. It's just a strangulation, basically. But as Kane Hodder always does, he brings a lot of violence and just like, I can't think of a great word. And assertiveness, I suppose. That's not really what I was looking for, but he's just deliberate. That's it. Bang! Deliberate. That's what we were going for. And I really just dig it. Parts of that scene I don't like. We'll get to that in a moment. Another great part of this, a great character, really. Is JJ, the rock chick, the guitar player. She reminds me a lot of, not me per se, but, you had a lot of rock bands in high school. I was in several different ones. We tried to get off the ground. Shout out Electric Funeral. None of them ever really, at all, made any kind of splash. We did a couple decent things after that, but we're not talking about me, right? So let's move it on. Yeah. I just dug. I kind of dig that fucking late '80s kind of hair metal vibe. Seemed decent. Pretty nice looking chick too. Not a bad death either. He takes that fake flying V to the face. That's blood splatters all over the camera. It is good enough. I mean, for as much as these films were being neutered, you know, towards the end of their Paramount run, you got to take what you can get. Uh, Another death that's kind of interesting. It's not really a great one, but Miss Van Dusen blowing up in the cop car after Rennie has her little heroin delusion. I suppose it was heroin induced, but maybe it wasn't because she's been seeing it the Jason hallucinations for most of the movie. I don't know. I guess it really doesn't matter a whole lot, but I like the fact that Rennie's just fucked up on an emotional level, mental level, and just leads to that car crash. And a little reminiscent, certainly wasn't ripped off, but a little reminiscent of Nightmare 4 when Alice thinks she sees Freddy, but she's dreaming. She smashes the truck into a tree. Uh, that's not a movie for another time. Let's not talk too much about that. But I like the fact that Rennie fucking up causes that big explosion. She just goes up. You know, Jason wasn't able to get his hands on her. Um, but to kind of wrap up the good, I mean, obviously you got to talk about Kane Hodder. This is his second turn as Jason, which also makes him the first actor to play Jason in more than one film. And I mean, he's a fan favorite. He does a great job. I mean, there's really not a whole lot that you can nitpick. Even I can't even think of anything off the top of my head about the way he portrays the character. So that's about all I can fucking dig up, man, as far as good stuff for this movie. So let's jump to the bad. I mean, the first thing, really, obviously, I mean, that's everyone's biggest gripe with this movie is, where the fuck is Manhattan? Like the first, 3/4 of this movie's on a fucking boat. Or one boat or the other, anyway. Is Jason Takes Manhattan? Not Jason Takes fucking a cruise ship. Not Jason Takes Vancouver, which is where all the fucking alleyway scenes and shit were shot at, if they weren't shot on a fucking soundstage somewhere. It's stupid. $5 million ain't gonna get you a lot of filming done in New York City. I get that. Why didn't they give him more than fucking $5 million? This was I get it. Paramount was never proud of these movies. They always kind of just, they fucking make money, so you have to keep making them. But I don't know, it's frustrating. Can you imagine how much better a movie like this, or any of the last several, to be totally honest? I mean, Jason Lives is great, but Seven's not by any stretch. I mean, if say New Line had come up with this property. Not taking it over after they've been fucking from Crystal Lake to Manhattan, But had this been a New Line creation from the start, they would have taken a little more care of it, like the Nightmare series, It's a shame. I mean, but what are you going to do at this point? But it sucks that this is Jason Takes Manhattan, and there's all of 3 minutes of Manhattan footage, and most of it's just, hey, look, see Times Square, isn't that cool? Right, guys? Another thing, that fucking stupid beat poetry radio station jock guy at the fucking beginning. Why did that go on for so long? It's 20 minutes worth of just him yapping. I don't know. It just annoys me. It's too much of it. I can't remember the phrase, but there is one decent phrase in there. Chop it down to a little more than that, just to kind of, hey, we're fucking blah, blah, and, this Manhattan rock station or whatever it is somehow knows that the Crystal Lake senior class is on their way. I don't think they would know or give a shit, frankly. This is the late 80s New York City. They didn't give a shit about some high schoolers. You know, we waste all that time there, and then hey, we're still starting right in Crystal Lake. It's great. Have fun. So it's like an annoying tease, like, hey, eventually we'll get here in the last 10 minutes or 15, whatever the fuck it is. And also, why is his body still in the lake? That doesn't make any fucking sense, man. Like, it's been in the lake since, because the timeline's all fucked up. So it's been, he's basically, that body's been in the lake for 20 years. You have this stuff, depending on how long, maybe there's another year between 7 and 8. I don't know. But wouldn't they have fished that body out of the lake by now? I don't know. That seems fucking stupid to me. I think the next thing we'll talk about here. Oh, the score sucks. It's fucking terrible. This is the first one that has like no influence, or 7 didn't have Harry Manfredini in it, but they used a lot of his cues and shit, so he got the credit. This one is the first one of the series, I think, without his name at all. They got rid of the ki ma ma ma, replaced it with Jason, 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 which is utterly infuriating. And I don't know, it's not a memorable score by any means either. Like, it's just pretty lame. Unfortunately, I forgot to shout out Metropolis, the Darkest Side of the Night song in the good. That's about the only good thing audio-wise, or soundtrack-wise, whatever you want to say. I mean, the audio's fine. You can hear things, you hear the kills, all that. I'm not trying to shit on that. The Grips did good work, or whatever the fuck they are. I'm no movie guy. I don't like them. I hate movies. I don't know why I'm even doing this. Where are we going? Let's get back on track. So yeah, just like it's a shit soundtrack. The original score, whatever the fuck. And I don't know. I hate it. I hate it a lot. It takes a lot away from the movie, I think. Yeah. Anyway, next thing. Let's keep this moving, huh? You can get tired of old saucy yapping, so I'll try to finish her up for you. The hallucinations, the Kid Jason shit is all dumb. It doesn't make any sense. It's almost like bad Nightmare on Elm Street shit to me. Like, bad. Not. I love Elm Street, as we all know by now. But the shit didn't work, and the kid looked different in every fucking scene. Sometimes he's got full hair, then he's got half a head of hair, and he's bald, with that wispy shit. And then, I don't know, then he's got a droopy eye, and then he's covered in cum or whatever that was supposed to be. And it's just, you don't cover a kid in cum. I shouldn't have to say that. Be better, Paramount. Hashtag cancel Paramount for the cum-covered kid. Let's get that trending on Twitter. But it doesn't fit in the movie. It's foolish shit. Because that kind of ties into the whole McCullough and Rennie thing where he pushed her into the lake so she'd learn how to swim, kind of fight her fears. He didn't. There was no Jason in the lake to grab her. That's fucking stupid. She would have never seen this fucking kid. None of them. Like, I get it. It's a Friday the 13th movie. Like, I can suspend disbelief for some shit. I suspended disbelief for the fucking, the fake Carrie White shit in the, part 7. But this is dumb. But on a completely different level. So Jason teleporting is fucking stupid too. Like, probably like in 6, he's been a zombie since part 6, or the undead, whatever the fuck. But in part 6, you see him walking everywhere deliberately and just straight line through the woods. In 7, you still see him moving from place to place. He doesn't just show up fucking, hey, look, I'm here now. But he literally, in the Kelly Hu death scene, he teleports like fucking 6, 7 times. You know, he just every entrance or exit, he's there in front of her. It's awful. It's real just dumb shit to me. And it's bad. Like it's the only movie that he does that because he hasn't told that shit in any of the new line entries. And he didn't do it before. It's just fucking dumb. It's lazy writing, is what it is. Next up, Rennie and Sean, the kind of the lead couple. Rennie, obviously, I've talked about a little bit. You know, attractive as she may be, you know, I don't know if that's your cup of tea personally, and whatever, it doesn't matter. I mean, it kind of does. I guess that's the point of of the final girl. But she's boring, you know. Had they kind of dug into her relationship with her uncle a little more early on, I think I'd probably have a different opinion on that as long as it was done right. I mean, even the attempt would have been something. But she's boring, and Sean is even worse. Apparently, I probably talked about this in the good. What are you going to do? I don't remember. I suck. Leave me alone. Don't leave me alone. Talk to me in the comments down below. Oof. But apparently Sean was played by a different actor initially. They had cast someone else, and there was no chemistry whatsoever with Rennie. So they shit canned that guy and got fucking Mr. Daytime TV, Johnny whatever the fuck his name is. And he's just as bad. I mean, maybe there's a little more cohesion between those two, but they make for just like a sandwich. It's literally just 2 pieces of white bread. Fucking who cares? And then I think that will kind of wrap up the bad with that fucking ending. It's the worst ending of the Friday the 13th series. There's not a single ending you could point to that comes close. I mean, they end up in a New York City sewer where apparently radioactive waste is flushed through every night at midnight or some bullshit. So basically, Jason gets to kill a sewer worker off screen. Cool. Knocks out the jerk off, chases Rennie down, stalks Rennie down the sewer. They start to climb up the stairs, or the ladder rather. And he says "mommy" as the waste hits him. And he starts to gurgle the shit back up, and then he turns into a completely like an unharmed child. Like basically, he's not deformed or anything. He's just, like Rob Hedden just wanted his fucking stupid kid in the movie. Is really what that comes down to, and it's really fucked up. Like that's annoying. I really hate that kind of words things. Nepotism. Thank you. I really hate that kind of nepotism. Like, all right, I'm gonna bring my fucking kid in, but maybe he's actually good at what I need him to do. That'll be fine. This kid's just fucking. I'm a kid here. Look, me. Nope. Okay, thanks, little fucking Johnny. Beat it. Anyway, fuck that entire ending. I hate it. So that brings us to MVP of the night, ladies and gentlemen. And that's going to none other than Peter Mark Richmond, who played Charles McCulloch. Although Julius did give him a run for his money. As much as he is a dick the entire movie, which, I kind of like anyway, he's got sort of a dick charm. And I appreciate that. I really like it. But as I said, as much as a dick as he is for the entire movie, like, he's the only one that's thinking, like, let's not drop an anchor in a fucking storm. Let's get the cops. Let's not try to just, we'll lose him. No, get the cops. Let the fucking cops take care of this. What are you doing? Kind of a coward in the end, which does take points away, but overall, gotta give it to McCullough. And it's just unfortunate. His death is kind of lame. He survives being thrown out of a window, at least the second story, just to be put into a barrel of some kind of gooey cum bullshit. I don't know. This is a cum-rich movie, isn't it? Didn't think I would say that phrase today, or ever, really. Cum-rich. I'll put that on a shirt. No, we better not. So, fair fucks. Peter Mark Richmond, way to go. Proud of you. I'm sure this is the most prestigious award you've ever won. That being said, the kill of the movie is one of the greatest kills in the entire series. Of course, I'm talking about obviously, I'm kidding. At least about that scene being, one of the greatest kills. But the kill that actually won, that I'm giving the kill of the movie to, absolutely one of the best scenes in the movie and in the franchise. That's Julius's death scene. Unfortunately, he lucked out, missed out on being the MVP, but I'd say it's pretty fucking solid to have, kill the movie. Obviously, it's where we see him, boxing Jason on top of the building. Why have me explain? Just take a look.
Your best shot. Motherfucker.
Isn't that fucking great? It's absolutely, there's no arguing that point, I don't think. That's not like a top 5 kill in the Friday the 13th series. But yeah, all things considered, this is a mixed bag of mostly bad shit to me. If you like it, let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to, hit the like button. Maybe share this around some places. Who knows? Whatever you'd like to do is fine with me. But as far as this movie goes, like I said, mixed bag for sure. More bad than good, but there is some good to be mined from this movie. It's a weird one because there's sometimes I'll watch this movie and despise it, and other times I'm like, yeah, fuck, this is so cheesy. It's just what I needed at the time. But god damn it, do I wish it was better. Not for nothing, if they ever get all that shit worked out with the series, this would be something to reboot the series with. Do this movie again, but do it well. Spend fucking 30, 40 million, whatever, to get some fucking shit in New York actually shot with Jason. Couple kills. There are way too many people in this fucking movie that didn't die. He should just basically been dragging a machete or whatever the fuck he could get his hands on, just while he's chasing Rennie in the subway. Just drag it along the seats and just fucking slice these people up. But anyway, that's gonna do it for me. today. But before I leave, I do want to thank all of my wonderful patrons. Big Crack Rock, Hayes and that Devon Graham, Christian Hannah Horror, S'mores Indoors, Nick Ridza, Jay the Stingray, Jess Graham, Cornelius Collection, Orc 145626, Daniel Shine, Lauren Dixon, Mr. Bombastic, Retro Cac, The Daily Ghost, and Slaughterport. And if you'd like to become a patron of mine for $1, $3, or $5, the tiers give you different things. I'm not going to explain here. Go to patreon.com/offthegrill podcast. That's all for me, folks, today. But remember, Iris loves you.